Медіа-центрі ми розпочинаємо серію
We'll be talking about how Kyivshchyna battalion fights with the terrorists to liberate the territories. We'll be talking to Bogdan Pokinboroda, combat of Kyivshchyna battalion, Yuri Ruzhny, and Roman Rishchenko, who you remember from our Saturday's briefing, the coordinator of the Center of the Support of Volunteers. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Today we want to introduce the special battalion Kyivshchyna, which from the first days is fighting in Lugansk region against terrorists, against the threat which comes from Russia, and the active counteraction to the groups of subversive groups, and in the cooperation with the military, with the armed forces, are liberating our territories. Yuri Pokinboroda is the combat of Kyivshchyna Special Battalion. Good afternoon. First, I would like to say that our battalion was set up on the 24th of April 2014, and on the 21st of May we arrived to Svatava, Lugansk region, for service. Less than a month we had to create the unit, but nevertheless in our battalion all are volunteers, and we arrived as the first volunteers battalion to Lugansk region. Our main task at that time was to protect, to defend Svatava, administrative buildings in Svatava, and also we were at the checkpoints. The second task that we have fulfilled was to ensure the security during the presidential elections. We were ensuring security at the territories which were not occupied. Belovodsk, for example, we secretly transported all the bulletins from that area, and we also protecting the members of the commission there, of the election commission. After the elections, we were serving at checkpoints, the so-called first line, which is the red zone. All the lines are divided by colors: the red, the yellow, and the green. Our battalion has been for 3 months already at the red, in the red line zone. We are working at checkpoints. We are cleaning the territories, both liberated and those which are not yet under our control. Under our control. So the battalion within 3 months has fulfilled all the tasks that were given to us by the anti-terrorist center in Lugansk region, and we continue to fulfill all the tasks which were given. Now, half of the battalion is on vacations. The second half came back from vacations. They had 2 weeks rest, and now we have 2 weeks rest. So the battalion is there. We will have our rest and we will go back. That's briefly about our battalion. Thank you. Could you add anything, Mr. Rudzev? I will add with pleasure. Good afternoon. I would like to say that the battalion is executing not just the tasks which the ATO leadership gives us, but you understand that we need to work with the population which is still there, and we change the stereotypes. First, the so-called Lugansk and Donetsk People's Republics were saying that Ukrainians are fascists. They were saying that these are not people, these are not humans. But when we came there and people saw that not just the army, but even the militia is different. Militia is helping people. There are examples. And our battalion is also helping. Like, for example, we found many toys, children's toys, and we brought them to the orphanage. And we were pleased when they were so happy. We understood that they had nothing. We were helping with what we could. Next to the checkpoints, well, for example, we come to people, we ask them to, can we take some water? There's one old lady, we love her, and we are sort of protecting her. She's 25. She's 75, sorry, and her son is in Lugansk, and he cannot leave Lugansk, and we help her as much as we can. These are just two examples I told you about, but there are many more examples like that, and we show to people that Ukrainian militia, they are different militia. That's militia who you can trust, who you can ask for help. And we would like also to request you, to request all the TV channels, all mass media, show broadcast Ukrainian TV channels in these territories, because they have only Russian TV channels. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but they have practically no Ukrainian TV channels, and the people cannot learn the truth. They need to know the truth about what's happening in our country. People need to understand the Ukrainian truth. So our request to you is, please come to us, visit us. We are very hospitable. We will show you everything. We will tell you everything. You will see everything yourselves, and you will tell about that to people.
Now questions, please. Thank you, Yuri. Dmitro Haluk, Union. I have just two very short questions. How big is the threat that spies and diversants are working in Ukrainian rear, and how many people still support pro-Russian ideas? The closer we are approaching to Lugansk, the bigger is the split in percentage and the spectrum in percentage of those who support separatists. For example, the farther is the distance from Lugansk, the more supporters of Ukraine we have. This was some time ago, but today, even in those regions more closely to Lugansk, more people start to support Ukraine. We know all those who support separatists. We can recognize them, and of course, we try to neutralize them. And about professional spies and subversive actions, subversion activities. We have a special designated group who comprises most experienced and specially trained people, and their main objective is to counteract these subversive activities. I can add, actually, as soon as we get any information about such possible subversive actions, we immediately respond. We immediately send a special team, and they neutralize them. We had several such meetings and combats and strikes, and what I can comment that Russia does not invent actually nothing new. As I understand, Putin read Mein Kampf very attentively. So actually they use very old and recognizable tactics. That is, we can respond to them. One comment, please. I would like to add to my question. You mentioned that the closer you approach to Lugansk, the situation changes. Are there more population closer to Lugansk who support separatists? By the way, you are right. But by the way, there are a lot of settlements where people support actually nobody. They call themselves sometimes Cossacks, and our major objective is to ensure that all the social payments are paid to people. For example, when we entered Novy Aldar settlement, we found the situation rather neutral, and we were able to immediately raise the Ukrainian flag. In some settlements, which even are the territory of Ukrainian party, but there are no banners, no Ukrainian insignia in the city. In my personal opinion, the government has to pay attention to these cities with this administration and to change those people in the office in those cities. Good afternoon, NTN TV channel. Could you please describe how the situation is in the battalion, in the location where your battalion is placed? Of course, the situation is extremely tough around Lugansk. You can look at the map and compare what's going on in Donetsk Oblast and in Lugansk Oblast. Lugansk Oblast is a very problematic site in the context of general aid. I cannot inform you about the current situation because I've been staying here for 3 days already, and the situation there changes extremely rapidly. Also, we have big problems with the connection, with the radio connection there. It is extremely hard to dial up with somebody and to have a good connection. What I can inform you that our servicemen are on the red line now in Donetsk Oblast. In Lugansk Oblast, we know that there is a lot of activities, that the front line is prepared, that the fire points are established and equipped, and the people are got ready. We heard much about panic mood and panic feeling among the terrorists, and They are disguised, and they want to flee from the Donetsk Oblast. Could you please inform whether the number of separatists is shrinking in Donetsk Oblast? I do not know much about Donetsk Oblast because we fight mostly in Lugansk Oblast. Those active participants of military actions who were fighting and who occupied Lugansk SBU buildings, and we interrogated them. We know how they think and how they act, and I understand that today it is clear for them that nobody will help them. But when they try to escape from Lugansk Oblast and cross the border between Ukraine and Russia, they are simply shot by Russian border guards, and they are simply killed. We have around 80% of our checkpoints at the front line, and up to 20% of checkpoints far away from the front line, closer to the rear. And these 20% of checkpoints are used to train better our newcomers. And one of our responsibilities is to control the movement via these checkpoints. And we have now big experience in recognizing separatists. About the numbers of detained or imprisoned separatists in the recent several weeks. Speaking about our battalion, we imprisoned up to 50 people, and where they are now, there were several cases when some of those detained people were allowed to go. As for us, we sent them to the main department of the Ministry of Affairs in Lugansk Oblast. When we noticed that they were simply liberating those were prisoners, we stopped doing this. We simply started to send them to representatives from the Ministry of Internal Affairs from Kiev and other oblasts. Do you trust police? I have no trust to local police at all. Yeah, of course, we had such facts. Just an example. Once I entered the meeting in the police precinct, and I asked a question to one of the policemen, and asked them how many separatists he had in the territory of his precinct, and I'm very much familiar with the duties of a precinct police officer because I worked as a militia officer in the past, and asking that question about numbers of separatists in the local area, I found out that they were unable to answer. They were ready to comment on different things, but not on that. And I believe that they should answer that question to the prosecutor. Once I heard a question from the militia officer, do you know what will happen to those people who gave the oath to LNR? And I understand that there were some honest militia officers who were in tough situation. They were unable to do their work. But when I asked my colleagues from militia, why did you surrender the Ministry of Interior building? I got an answer that we tried to prevent any victims, but my comment was that this is your duty to risk your life. And what is the result? What is the final actually outcome? How many civilians now are threatened because of this situation? If you want to hear about the prosecutor's office, the absence of state banner on the roof of the plaque on the roof is part of the problem. But the prosecutor himself is on holiday. But where he is having his holiday was my next question. He has gone to Crimea, was the answer. Can you imagine the prosecutor who stays in Crimea when there is combat in the city, in the Rayon precinct of militia? People work and in a manner that there is regular lifetime, and sometimes they ask us, are you having a holiday here? While we are actually on the front line for 3 months now, while their people are on holidays.
We wanted to give to the commander of battalion Kyivshchyna part of the map which was prepared, the whole zone of ATO, Donetsk and Lugansk region, and that is for their use, to use it at their checkpoints, and we hope that this will help you in your will make your work more efficient. Besides, as the representative of the Center of Assisting Volunteers, I would like to address the citizens of Kiev and other regions. Now, in the battalion, as far as I know, we talked to the representatives. What's needed is transportation for the personnel, and also thermal visions, heat vision devices, and so on. I would like, first of all, to thank all people who helped, not just our battalion, but all others, the Center of Assistance to Volunteers. I would like to thank them especially because we are the unit of the Kiev region. The administration of Kiev region helps us a lot. Also, our leadership helps us, the leadership of the Ministry of Interior of the region. We need a lot, but today we have the uniform, the medicines, the food products. That is all thanks to volunteers. That's all thanks to the leadership of the region. Today we have the need in transportation, and transportation that's mostly trucks to transport personnel. We're given the buses, but you understand, if you get into trap in the truck, that's like a big grave, because if these are trucks with open top, people can jump out of that. We need all these heat vision devices. We have just one. I disclose a big secret to you. We need a lot. The minister told us that we'll get drones within 1 month. I don't know how this will happen or will not happen, but if there is a chance that you can provide a couple of drones to us, we would be happy to get them. I hope that the journalists will disseminate the information about the support to the battalion. I would like to thank all of you for all that you are doing to liberate Ukraine from terrorists, and thank you, the Center of Support of Volunteers, for the support of everyone at this ATO zone. I would like also to thank the journalists and you colleagues for the information that you provide, because that's very important for the guys especially, because we don't have internet. We don't have anything. We call home and we learn from our relatives what's happening. So we are grateful for the information that you give. Please come to us. You will see everything yourselves, and you will be pleased to talk to our guys, and you will see what's happening there. Thank you. And our next briefing, press briefing, is in 1 minute.